change and some thoughts on MCAT. Recently, I have been reading so many discussions on MCAT 2016. People have been critical, and I think both the parties, the assessment setters and the bulk of students, they have their points and they are quite reasonable, and we have to consider them. It's not easy to sort out all the issues so quickly. One of the things we got to notice, the change and some thoughts on MCAT cannot be done without realizing that change is always painful. Can we make it gradual? Can we make it painless? Well, I don't want to give the answer immediately. Let's look at the first question. It's a non-conventional question on they start the question with a rectangle has an area. Now, if you look at the history of quadratics, starting back from Egyptian periods, well, the quadratics or the algebraic functions did not originate just like that. It had a purposeful background. The human wanted to know about the quadratics to analyze or understand some of the things like tax payment, and for that matter, they had to calculate the area of quadrilaterals, or more specifically, rectangles. So, on that perspective, that word rectangle is meaningful. Has an area of, is it 5 square meters? Is it 7 square meters? No. They suddenly go into very abstract idea, which says x squared plus 5x minus 36. And that creates all the difficulty with the young students. Why? Because the students, for some reason, they do not have that information or the connection between the real context and that algebraic expression, which is quite weird, isn't it? Look at that. It's absolutely meaningless to majority of people. Now the question asks you to find out the lengths of the sides of the rectangle in terms of x, which can cause havoc in educational system. And this is the gap you got to bridge between the elite society, the university teachers, some of the teachers who write the question paper, and the teachers who are the real they really practice the mathematics teaching in the secondary school. It's not easy because they are given some of the students who are not well equipped to handle all these complex understanding, complex knowledge. Right, so basically what they're asking us is to factorize it. So in my days, they would simply say factorize x squared plus 5x minus 36. And I can rest assured about 99% of the students should be able to do that in year 11 after the rigorous practice they have for the MCAT. They will simply go for two brackets. That's how the teachers probably introduce quadratics, cosmetic way, without the linkage between these two. And the story behind the Egyptian quadrilaterals and the land sizes and all kinds of things. Right, so, well, probably the young people would go like this, x, and, right? Okay, it's factorized. But the thing is that language changes everything. Now, the people at the helm of affairs probably would say, you got to know all this, but to understand, to know all this sort of stuff, it requires mind shift, it requires a paradigm shift, it requires, the whole philosophy of teaching and learning in the classroom, and requires a little bit of assistance from technology. That will make it easy, that will make it meaningful, because you can play the simulation, and the simulation will probably make it more understandable to the young people. Only problem is time. So if you are preparing your students in 3 weeks' time, that is not good enough to prepare the students for all this kind of problem solving. I'll stop there.